if I have to talk about, am I living my purpose? Probably yes. Did I know this is my purpose? Definitely not. Do I want to continue to live the same purpose? No. so, so, like anything else, the life purpose is also not something which is definite. So that is why I chose this topic, because I feel with all the, the fad is going on social media and everyone is talking about life purpose and you have to know your gift and calling and all of that. We have actually further confused, already very confused population or, of human race. So I thought probably it's time that we put some light on this topic because it's an important topic. But like anything else, it has started to sound like a struggle now. Like as if looking for your purpose has to be a chase. The way we chase love, the way we chase happiness, we chase money. Now we are chasing life purpose. And that's where we are actually failing the whole purpose of knowing your life purpose, right? So I chose this topic because I have been observing, and quite honestly, it doesn't matter if a client is a CEO of a company, is into politics, or is a homemaker. Everyone, when they do a consultation with me at the end of the day or at the end of that session, they're like, but how would I know what is my purpose? It's so easy for you to say because you're living your purpose. And I'm like, you have no idea. You have no idea what's going on.
How I got there?
Yeah. So if I want to be honest, see, if I want to operate like a life coach or a metaphysical therapist and try to say, oh, I know it, I have found it, I won't be authentic. So first thing first, I think if we really look at life, there's only one purpose to the entire life. Let's take ourselves as human beings and our conscious mind out of the way, because the conscious mind wants to do a lot, wants to achieve a lot, wants to understand a lot, wants to conquer, wants power. There is a need for everything. So let's take that part of us out of the equation and look at ourselves as any other particle, any other being in the entire cosmos. Let's just not be so important for a moment in life. Then only we can discover the purpose of life. If I'm already very important, then beyond myself, I see nothing, right? So if I take myself out of equation, what is the purpose of life? Growth. You may call it the spiritual evolution, you may call it co-creation, you may give it all the fancy names you want to give it. But the only purpose of life to grow through re-experiencing itself over and over and over again. So every autumn is a different autumn, but it is autumn. Every spring is a different spring, but it is a spring. Every night can be a different night. For if you're in love, it would be a different night. If you have just broken up with someone, it would be a nightmare, right? So
every flower is a different flower.
Absolutely. And every plant will give you the same flower, but the way you connect to it the next year or in the next season is going to be different. So what is the purpose of life if human mind is not in it? It's just growth, and growth through re-experiencing who we are and how much more we can do. And because life cannot be definite, so does its purpose. Even that cannot be definite. So if I think I am here just to do one thing and do it, no, it's not like that. Even your life purpose can change. Now, I'll come to the life purpose and how we can discover it a little later. But what are the myths we need to drop about life purpose in order to be able to stop the chase and allow it to chase us? When you become good at your topic and when you're the master of your topic, then your calendar is booked and people are chasing you, right? Because you don't have time. You can only spend that much time with those many people a day, and there are other things to do. So when you become so good at something, the chase would be to find you, because now you are the one who's adding value to things. Now people who need value from you, or the things that need value from you, your entire existence has become so valuable, then people will be, or things would be chasing after you. Money would be chasing after you, because everything, including money, wants to be of value to the universe. There is nothing in this universe which has been created as small as money and as big as, let's say, energy itself, which wants to go waste. There is no space in waste, right? So everything wants to add value. Now the question is, how do you become of that value? Number one, stop thinking that your purpose has to be something grand. You have to go searching for it. You have to do, some tapasya to find out about it. No. What is your uniqueness? What was your gift? When you look back at your childhood, what could you easily do and forget who you are while doing it? Whether someone appreciated that or not, and whether you felt applauded for it or not, but you got so lost in it because you so enjoyed it that you kept on growing and you wanted to re-experience that, is actually what is connected to your purpose. All that you need to do is go back and rediscover who you are, because the growth can only happen through you. If I die today, my universe ceases to exist and no growth through me can happen. It's as simple as that. Now, either I die with my body, which is death, or I die in mind and soul, which is even worse than death, because now you're just bleeding and you're not adding any value, right? So the first thing is, stop thinking the life purpose has to be grand. Stop thinking that it has to be something that everyone should be in awe of it. You are the only one who should be in awe of your life purpose. It doesn't matter how other people perceive it. As long as you are rediscovering who you are, rediscovering the kind of value you can add to people, and you can be so lost in that sharing and in that knowing and in that growth that it no more matters how people will react to you. You are on the path to live your purpose. Now, the flip side to purpose is, it sounds very fancy. It's like, oh my God, life would be set. I'm going to be contented. Everything will fall into place. No, I'm sorry to share the bad news. If the purpose discovers you, because the purpose has to discover you, you cannot discover your purpose. You can keep walking and recognizing who you are, bringing your uniqueness to the world, be your own true authentic self and your expression. Obviously, even I am not 100% authentic. There are times probably I'm lying even to myself, forget about the world, right? Because we don't even know. We are so conditioned to believe certain things about ourselves. We don't even know if we are lying or we are being honest with ourselves. Till we discover one day, oh, this is not who I am, or this is not how I want to be, right? So we are work in progress. So if you come to that level where everything else is happening in a way that you're experiencing life fully, and you're now ready to be unapologetically you and do things the way you want to do them. It doesn't matter what says what you studied, who you were, where did you went, what your parents are, what the society wants from you, then the purpose will find you. Now, what is the purpose? Actually, the purpose is just being able to share your gift. It is not the gift. The gift is you. Developing a way or a format or a formula to be able to share this gift with the world in a way that you are also growing, they are also growing, you're adding value. That is then what we call the purpose. But the purpose in itself shouldn't be your primary focus. Your focus should be to find who you are and then allow the purpose to find you. Why you need to let the purpose to find you is because you need to be ready for it. You need to be able to take the responsibility of how you want to share it and how authentically you can share it and how much can you share it. And most importantly, why are you sharing this? The whole purpose of life is to give all of us and every other entity or particle in this universe life. It is not expecting anything for you to do for it. The universe, the creator, the nature doesn't want you to do anything for it. It is quite self-sustainable. So if you think, which is our ego side, that, oh my God, without me, the universe cannot work. If I don't find my purpose, oh, I don't know, the whole universe is going to collapse. And no, nothing is going to happen. Trust me. There would be someone else with a similar gift can share it in a better way. So the ego has to be dropped. And once the ego drops, then you would be able to be authentically who you are, because now it doesn't matter how you're perceived, but it matters how much value you're adding, and in a way that you're also enjoying doing that. If there is no joy in doing what you're doing, you have already failed the purpose of life, because the creator is only creating for the joy of creation. It has never asked you to worship it, has never asked you to donate anything, give back anything. All that it is saying, please co-create with me while you understand who you are and why you are there. Do not stop the flow of my life first. Do not become resistance to the life that can happen for others. Do not, insult other beings. Do not harm other beings. Let the whole of life happen together. That's all it wants from you. It's not saying, oh, please go find your purpose. Now you add value to me. It doesn't need you, right? So now when you become so ready that nothing can actually stop the life force, which is supposed to go through you and force you to share your gift, you are on the path of living your purpose. But you don't have to chase it. You just have to get ready for it. And to get ready, you just have to know yourself. You just have to become more and more authentic. You just have to be able to learn, accept life for what it is. If you have a problem with your profession and that's why you're looking for life purpose, it's not going to happen. It will not show up, because you don't have contentment and happiness and joy in whatever you already are doing. So how would life purpose show up for you? Life purpose will show up if you're ready. What does that mean? If you're in flow with the flow of life. If your pace and the pace of your life is aligned. If your rhythm and your dance is in tune with the heart of the universe, with that music which wants to continuously keep creating in a joyful, graceful manner. If you're not graceful in doing what you're doing already, why would life want to flow through you any further? Because you're going to make a mess out of that also. Whatever you are containing, let's say I have a lot of mud. I'm a glass and there's a lot of mud. Keep pouring water to it. The mud will become even more, the water will become more muddy and slushy, right? So we need to clear this. Then only the life purpose will happen and will shine. Otherwise, it's going to become as muddy as you are. So the whole thing about this life purpose is quite a drama, I feel, which is going on. And I genuinely tell all my students, because I do these group mentoring and life coaching programs. And a part of that is to find the purpose. But in order to find a purpose, you first must find yourself. Now, how do we find ourselves? Because it's also important. Okay, how do I find myself? She sits there and gives gyan. But how? I'll tell you how. Go back to childhood. That's where you can find yourself, where you could laugh without hesitation. You could cry and be vulnerable no matter who is around you. You could probably stamp your feet if you wanted something because you so badly wanted it. You could actually speak your truth. Do you love mama more or papa more? And you would not think a second and say papa. Now, if says, do you love me? And let's say it's a partner. I really like you, but I don't know, how. We have so many stories. When you can authentically express who you are and easily express who you are, no matter what. Of course, you don't want to hurt and harm others. It has to be an appropriate way of saying what you want to say. But if it is not out of the fact that how would I be judged or perceived or seen by other people, then you're slowly getting ready for the purpose. Now, they are basically, actually they say, Howard Gordon has said actually, who wrote the Frames of Intelligence, the book Frames of Intelligence. He talks about 5 types of intelligence. One is intelligence through words. So if you were someone who expressed through words, if you were someone who knew how to play with words, who enjoyed playing with words, right? I remember as a child, I used to really enjoy saying the same thing my parents would say to each other in a way that instead of conflict, there would be more peace. I would say exact same messages. So they would fight with each other. And then I would be the messenger, which is a bad thing no parent should do. So they would ask me, go tell papa this, go tell mama this. And I would just rephrase those sentences and play with it and think, okay, if I say it like this, they would be happy with each other. They will hug and kiss again. So I used to enjoy that, but I never understood that as my gift. So now as a speaker or as an author, I play with words. What else do I do? If I get clarity about something, now I want to present that in a way that it is pleasing to you, and also you would want to go and reflect upon it, right? So that is what I remember from childhood. Then the other type of intelligence, which I absolutely don't have, is people who understand music, how they play with sounds, how they flow with sound, they can identify, they can mimic the sounds of nature. So this is another type of intelligence. The other type of intelligence is where people are spatial. They look at designs and they look at, I have a little bit of this because I like interior design. So you look at a space and you can mold it, you can add things to it, you can, shapes, basically shapes really fascinates them. So anything which is fascinating or was fascinating with you as a child, somewhere there is your gift. Now, the fourth type of intelligence is mathematics. People who love solving, mathematics or algebra and things like that. That is a totally different kind of intelligence. And we all are not supposed to have it. Very few have it. And then, of course, they make wonders with it. Then is kinetic intelligence. People who love dance, who like movement, all this, let's say gym trainers or people who are good at dance, performers. These are the kinetic kind of intelligence that people have. We may have a mix of everything. But what you need to understand is which one of this you can go do and get lost in it. As if you have been high on some kind of a drug and you just can't stop enjoying it, right? So, and the sixth one, which I think should be added, is the social intelligence. That is for people like us who are therapists and who work with people, and those who are, who like to do service for people, add value to them in a very direct, linear manner. All these are adding value to people, but it is not linear. This is some way of the other. You listen to a good music, it's not linear. You just get transformed into another world, another reality, but it's not linear. But I'm talking to you. This is a very direct, linear reality. So this is social intelligence. So now just all that you need to do is go back to your childhood and understand what you really enjoy. To be honest, like today itself, I was thinking I have a habit of journaling, but I suggest everyone to do it every day in the morning or in the evening. Just 2 pages. You just keep writing. It doesn't matter what you write. You don't have to give meaning to it. It doesn't have to be some channel message, like the way people say everything is so fanciful these days. So I like doing that. So today, as usual, I woke up and I just had a desire to journal. I started journaling. And then I realized that my retirement plan has been of having an art cafe or an art resort or something like that, where I will also want to share my own recipes of what I cook or what I enjoy, or bakery and all that. I am not formally trained neither in painting nor in bakery. The only thing I'm trained is basically in what I'm doing, coaching and all. And when today I was thinking about this talk, I realized even as a child, I started reading at 2.5 years old. I could read full books. So this means I had something to do with words. That's why I write. That's why I speak today, right? It's not that something I discovered as my life purpose. It is something I already had. So when I delayered all the things other people told me I must be, my mom wanted me to be an engineer. So I actually I studied both maths, physics, and also biology in my 12th, because the whole thaga war at home was my dad wanted me to be a doctor, mom wanted me to be an engineer. I said, okay, I'm going to do all subjects. We will see what happens. Don't worry, right? Just to keep them happy. But eventually, what did I study? Even after doing an MBA, it is psychology. And then what I'm doing today has nothing to do with maths, physics, and biology, right? So, because innately, so I remember 2.5 I was reading. So it means writing and reading is my thing. At 7, I wrote my first poetry. Stupid one, very kiddish, but at least I wrote it. Around the age 11, I was pulled up from a painting competition, after a painting competition, because they thought I have traced everything. And they made me redo the painting because they couldn't believe a child can do that. So that's why painting. I'm not formally trained, but I paint. I've had exhibitions. And then I also remember around the age 5 or 6, so I was a very tiny little girl till I think grade 8. I had not really had any height. I was really, really tiny and small. So I would put a stool and I would actually start cooking. And then my poor younger brother was my guinea pig. Whatever I would cook, I would make him have. And it used to be horrible because I would keep combining things. So when I look at these things, and when I was thinking, why is it that art cafe, especially with my healthy recipes, is so important, I realized because that's what I was doing at age 5. Right? So go back to childhood and find out, what did you enjoy? What would you get lost? And once you start realizing that the life isn't supposed to be grand, the life is supposed to be lived in a grand manner. What does that mean is, do your best, enjoy to the fullest. Don't get attached to the good, bad, or ugly. Know that everything is an experience. Mood swings happens, sorrow happens, hate happens, anger happens. So does happiness, joy, spirituality, and everything else. We are human beings. You can't be always on one pole of the polarity. If you're not experiencing the other pole of polarity, you're not being real. You're not being authentic, because there is no other way. If there is day, there has to be light. So just wanting to behave in a certain way for whatever reason, I know the reason. It's to create a self-image. But even God can get angry. Even nature can get angry and have earthquakes and, volcanoes erupting. So why not us? What is so special and different about us, right? So once you go back and understand who you are and what you enjoy, now you have to come back and think about life purpose. Before that, if you're thinking about life purpose, it's of no value. Even if you know what it is, trust me, you will not be able to follow it with joy. You will do it, but it would be causing you more frustration. Because now you're thinking, I have found my life purpose. Now I'm sacrificing my life for others and I'm getting nothing in return. The whole idea is service without expectation. And if you have an expectation, let's say I charge for my services and I charge quite a bit. I am not someone who would be approachable easily. The reason is I value my expertise. I value my lifestyle. And there is a way I can live. If I live any other way and I start feeling miserable because I'm compromising my standard of living, I will not be in a good frame of mind to help you. I would be continuously nagging myself and thinking, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. And it is human to want things. It is human to desire things. It is human to want comfort. It is human to want whatever you want. You want to go in a cave and meditate for 10 years, so be it. But I don't want to do that. Now, I need to value, and I don't need to create a self-image around myself that if I'm a spiritual, this is the way I dress up, this is the way I talk, this is the way I laugh, because then you're not letting the life purpose happen to you. But when you take care of yourself in an authentic way, and you keep growing and rediscovering yourself, the path will show. Like, honestly, I never thought I will become a therapist. In my widest dreams, I didn't want to become a therapist. I had an amazing lucrative job and I was traveling the world and I was enjoying what I was enjoying. I have so many people reporting to me and the ego was boosted because yes, ma'am, the whole day it was happening, right? But because I got so ready, how did I get ready? I was very curious. I was extremely curious and I was a curious child about the matters of mind and soul. From the time they tell me that I used to watch TV shows and serials, which were about souls and normals and things like that, even at age 3, 4, which I don't remember. But they say I would sit and watch those shows, or I would all the books I have read even then used to be self-help. I could not understand, but I would read those books because something about soul. And my first question, for which I was expelled 2 days from class, was that you're telling me not to lie, but everyone in the school is lying, including principal, ma'am. So it means just thinking I will not lie is not true. Your soul is lying to yourself. And then obviously I was thrown out of the class. Now, I didn't understand what I'm talking, but I was talking something at that age, right? So you go back, discover yourself, and get ready. Once you get ready, trust me, your life purpose will not leave you. And the other myth about life purpose, it doesn't really make your life um, easier, to be honest, because now there is a sense of knowing who you are. There is a sense of knowing that you have so much more potential. There is a sense of knowing that there are a lot of things that you want to do for yourself, for your own self growth. And also, there is a sense of responsibility. It's an unknown, unacknowledged, non-verbal contract with the universe you need to honor. So you need a lot of self-reminders. You need a lot of self-awareness to be able to keep yourself updated with how your purpose and your path is changing, because it's not definite. It's not that I understand, okay, painting is my purpose. Now I will paint and I have exhibitions, or I'll just donate them. No, maybe tomorrow you have to paint in a way that will change the energy of a whole house. Maybe tomorrow you have to use your painting to express some, social issues which are going on. So you have to be also adjusting to the path. So it's not easy. It's not something will happen and from the next day you know your life purpose. Now there is going to be no problem in life. You would be fully contented. No. You become contented and happy. And then when the purpose happens, and it takes you again through a lot of ups and downs, because as human mind, you're going to doubt yourself. Why am I doing what am I doing? Is it really making any change or any sense to anyone? Because we are humans, we can't help but wanting to be belonging, wanting to be accepted and connected and approved, right? So even during your life path, you're going to go through that. But if you start chasing it and thinking, like it's the same thing. I will go on so and so holiday when I have this much in my bank account. And by the time you have that much in your bank account, or by the time your children are settled, you go on a holiday and sleep on that boat on Venice Canal because you're so tired and old and exhausted. You can't halt life to find your life purpose. You need to allow life to happen, and then only the life purpose will take you where it is supposed to take you. So there is no destination to life purpose. There is no one way of doing your life purpose. The only thing to keep in mind is that when you're ready, it will show up. And then you need to honor that contract. See, I want to work with Dr. Sandeep. And let's say we talk a lot about a lot of things. This we can do, this we cannot do. But we are still both free. The moment we acknowledge and we get into an agreement with each other, then we have to fulfill and honor that agreement, right? Similarly, the moment the life purpose shows up for you and you acknowledge it, you are honoring your contract with the universe, and now there is no going back. And it's not easy. It's not an easy job to do, okay? So I think this is what I wanted to share. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer. But the whole thing about the life purpose, I know unless you find it, you will not be happy. Is not. Honestly, I don't know if I'm anymore living my purpose because I feel my purpose has changed from therapy to then writing and a way of expressing, and to now understanding actually I can be a lot larger than just the purpose in life. Maybe I am the purpose, right? So it can change. Just be open to what shows for you. Just don't chase it. That's what I understand and what I wanted to share.
Super. Friends, if you have any question, you can ask. If we need to have some crux and summary of this whole thing, that I can say that the purpose of life is very dynamic, and it's always changing. It's like exploring a new day every day, and purpose of life is not just constant. Also, it's like a growth. Today you can feel that this is my purpose of life. Okay, good. Live this purpose. Then again, after some years, you can feel that no, this was another dimension of my purpose of life also. It's not just the life purpose have changed, but the new dimension is there. That I have heard about the sahar, that painting is my purpose, my cooking is my purpose, and being a therapist is my purpose. But I feel this is just another dimension, sahar, of the same thing. This is just some flower is blossoming and you are exploring the things, that this is also a possibility of this thing only.
Yeah.
That Purpose of life is just, I think when someone becomes or chooses to become a therapist or contributor, he has, you rightly said, he or she has an unwritten contract. And
Yeah.
he's more responsible for his own life also.
Yeah.
Not just for the other's life, but for his own thoughts, for his own life also. So purpose in life is just to explore the things why you are on this planet Earth and what beautiful things you can have and how much happiness you can spread. Along with that, experiencing all the things which are natural. It can be anger, it can be sadness also. It can be sometimes learning also, it can be sometimes unlearning also. And this is all about life. It's all about experiencing and to be in the flow. I think the word Sahar used many times, that it's all about knowing the flow. Thank you very much, Sahar. This was really, really amazing. Let me see if there are some questions. Would there be a single purpose or there could be a multiple as well? Manish is asking.
Okay, the single purpose of life for all of life, not only us, would be to live fully and honor the life that we have been given, right? This is the single purpose of life. But now, to be able to live fully, as Dr. Sandeep very rightly said, you should be able to understand the different dimensions of who you are and the gifts that you have, and then be able to share these gifts in a way that will add value to you and others. But if we have to say there is just one single purpose to life, yes, there is just one single purpose to life, and that is life itself. To be able to live that life gracefully, joyfully, in an honorable manner. I won't even use the word honor, actually, in a glorified manner. And in a way that without any expectation, you are willing to add value to yourself and others is the only purpose of life. Now, what are the dimensions of you that can make this happen? Would be your different parts of the life purpose that probably you have. But I don't believe there would be just one thing I need to do. The purpose of life is one thing that I am supposed to be. The life purpose has nothing to do with doing, but expression of who you be. So it's about your being.
Exactly. Rajnish, I am unmuting you. You have to unmute yourself, Rajnish.
Yes, Sahar, it's always a pleasure
Thank
to attend your sessions.
Thank
You said it's about enjoying the journey, if I understand correctly, enjoying the journey rather than looking at the destination.
Yeah.
So now it's something like, self-actualization or self-realization, whatever you call it. But then on the journey, it is our fears and our desires. There are the two wheels. Somehow our life is operating actually.
Yeah.
Fears on one side, desires on the other. That is how we go ahead in life. And these are also the biggest bottlenecks.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest? How do we overcome these limitations? Let me put it that way.
So with fear, I just have one solution. And we have almost 16 types of fears. But it doesn't matter what kind of fear it is, whether it's fear of rejection, failure, old age, bad health, poverty, it doesn't matter what it is. You just have to face it head on. There is no other way to conquer the fear. Now for desires, unless we take, actually fear and desire are the two sides of the same coin. Even desire is fear-based, right? However, in order to achieve desire, it is important we turn our fears to faith. And the only way we can do that is one, to go head on. Whatever you fear, you need to conquer by taking action towards that fear, whatever it may be. And the other thing is to be able to remind yourself continuously, constantly, that life has nothing against me or anyone else. The only person who's standing in my way of desires or creating the fears for myself is in my own mind. And once the mind recognizes that you're watching and observing and you're continuously at it and not letting the leash loose, it starts to eventually calm down. And then let your soul or heart, whatever that is, to take over.